First, and very, very seriously, I'd like to thank the Board of Education and Finance Committee, the administration, faculty and staff, for everybody that helped bring this budget together. It really is a lot of work, and we joke around, but Charlie and Katine did a tremendous amount of work on this. And we went back and forth, and we had a lot of meetings, and we came out with what we think is going to be a tremendous spending plan for 2012 and 2013. And I am greatly appreciative of all the help and support that you guys gave through the process. Of course, there are some significant changes this year, and the Board of Education elected to move the budget to the general election in November, which means that there will be no election on the budget, provided the tax increase is 2% or lower, which of course it is. It is important to remember, though, that the general election on November 6th will be the election in which the Board of Education members will be on the ballot. District also realized its cost savings by moving the elections, as did most of the districts. I think about over 3/4 of the districts in the state. 85%. Yeah. The essential question, of course, with any spending plan is, how are your education tax dollars going to be spent? And hopefully, through the course of this brief presentation, we'll be able to answer those questions. I'd like to start with a little funny. A lot of times you hear folks talking about if we could consolidate our school districts, made one bigger school district, that tax savings would be realized. Well, here you see in Brevard County, Florida, they have the same exact problems. It's about $1 billion budget down there, and what they're screaming about is not enough money, too high taxes, and apparently the superintendent in this cartoon doesn't really know what to do. Of course, the right answer is what? D, spend wisely. When we crafted our budget, we looked at our priorities. We identified our goals and our objectives for the 2012-2013 year. We communicated extensively with our community and received a lot of input from the community related to what areas they'd like to see improved and strengthened. Of course, we exercised responsibility in terms of predicting what we would need for 12-13. We realized our own limitations. There are a lot of things that we'd like to do. One of the things that we'd love to be able to do is air condition every school, classroom, throughout the district, and we realize that that's something that's going to take time. And putting together the budget is sort of that process of planning for the future. Again, nobody in this room needs an explanation on how the process goes. Putting together a school budget is probably one of the most checked budgets that can be struck. There are so many different facets of putting the budget together, and of course, before we even get to tonight's presentation, the budget's already been vetted and approved by the Executive County Superintendent of Schools. Our goals for 12-13 were to continue to offer the diverse and challenging curricular opportunities that we've been able to afford our students over time. We want to, of course, increase academic achievement levels, maintain the arts and extracurricular activities for our children, improve student-to-teacher ratios, reduce class size, provide for unfunded mandates whenever they may come around, and, of course, promote and continue to promote transparency and fiscal responsibility. We took a number, as we have in the past, cost containment initiatives. We share services, and we're in cooperative agreements with several consortiums and other school districts. We have responsible administrative costs, and we're always looking to further create efficiencies in that area. Practical accounting, again, many, many thanks to Katine and Charlie for doing such a great job in the business office. Organizational efficiencies, taking a look at where we can better deploy our human resources to meet the needs of the district without having to necessarily hire more folks to fulfill particular needs. We're involved in energy and telecommunications consortiums, which saves us money, and of course we realize a great deal of additional revenues through grants and private donations, and we're very proud of that. When we're looking at the process, we look at a spending plan analysis, and Katine did a really nice job at projecting not only this year's spending plan, but also about 3 years out, right, Katine? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also exercising, again, budgetary restraint. Using state contracts, we do recognize that we have the Hanover Township After School Child Care Program, which provides a service at a greatly reduced cost for our parents and guardians and our children. Tuition increases in preschool, state aid increases, and this year we're foregoing any major capital expenditures and capital projects. This budget includes maintenance of all of our academic programming, all of our extracurricular programming. It also allows for the incorporation of the Common Core state standards, which many of you know is going to be a requirement as we move forward into next year and the academic year thereafter. It also supports the pre-K program for our 3- and 4-year-olds, EE4NJ, or Excellent Educators for New Jersey, teacher and principal evaluation system. Counseling services will continue, pre-K to 5 level, technological support, increased basic skill support, an additional section of elementary school, which we promised that we would look and work very, very hard to do last year, and we were able to achieve that this year, which we're very proud of. Textbook purchases, which were sorely needed at the middle school level, an upgrade at the Central Elementary Computer Lab, upgrades at Frank J. Smith in terms of technology and computers, the incorporation of Writers Workshop, K to 5, which we think, and we're very excited about. Ms. Quinn and Ms. Falcone have been doing a lot of work getting ready for this program. We think it's going to be a great addition to our academic offerings to get our kids ready for writing as they progress through the grade levels. iReady benchmarking again, helping us to identify where our children are succeeding and where they need continued support as we go through. The NJ Ask Blitz at the middle school level provides extra support before school for NJ Ask. Power School this year will be hosted remotely. We will be, again, going forward with our mandated trainings, iPad training, the technology professional within the district, after school math and language arts literacy at Frank J, and community partnership opportunities are all encapsulated in this budget. Courtesy busing will continue. We're very happy with that, both for our general education students and our special needs students. The details in this budget is our, number one, of course, our commitment to education, fiscal responsibility, utilizing state aid appropriately to be able to give back to the community when possible, refinancing our debt, reducing the overall expenditures, sharing services, and increasing revenues where possible. If you look at our state aid year to year, you can take a look at the dramatic decrease in state aid from 08-09 as we moved into 10 and 11. And in the last couple of years, we've seen increases in our state aid, which of course has been greatly appreciated and has allowed the district to not only support its academic and extracurricular programming, but also put forward a series of budgets, now we're into our third, of which we can be extremely proud of, and that is not only providing for our students and our schools, but also with a great sensitivity to the needs of the community. If you look at our projected revenue for 12-13, local taxes supports 97% of the district's spending plan. 2% comes in the form of state aid, and then 1% we were using from savings. The expenditures, the lion's share of the expenditures, as they should, go to instruction, 22% in administrative capacities, and 1% for capital improvements. Our position on the tax levy, of course, is first and foremost respect for and recognition of our community, what the Township of East Hanover is able to give in support of the school district, but also what the school district actually needs. We are, of course, allowed to, by law, impose a tax increase of 4% because we were able to bank 2% last year. We are looking to plan for the future and make sure that we put forward spending plans that will provide for sustainability as time goes on. We talk a lot about making sure and accounting for peaks and valleys. We don't want to see our budget go up and then go down and then go up again. That type of movement in the budget isn't healthy and it's not good for the community. This year's 12-13 tax implication, very simply stated, on an average assessed home of $360,000, almost $361,000, will be a decrease of $30.66. That's a tax decrease on the average home in East Hanover Township. If you look at our tax history, in 9-10 it was $159 on the average assessed home, and we were continuing to move down year to year to year to year, with this year culminating in a decrease of $30.66. The future is very important, and I know I'm kind of speaking to many of you who already know about this, but one of the things that we recognize is this type of a budget is not a budget that's going to be able to come to fruition every single year. What we've been talking about when we talk to the community is we're only going to ask for what we absolutely need at any given time. So in terms of curricular enhancements or technological innovation, making sure we're looking after our facilities and our physical plant, and also personnel needs as time goes on and we recognize areas that we may need to bulk up. Certain types of personnel. These are things that we're going to have to take into consideration in the future. So it's not a guarantee that we'll always be able to come forward with a budget like this every year. However, we are very proud to be able to do it this year. Be happy to entertain any questions that anybody may have on the 2012-2013 proposed